Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Excuse me, to an episode of T. Gresh Realty. I am your real estate queen, all right, Nita Gresham. You all know that I believe in being the CEO of your financial future. What does that mean? CEO, creating economic ownership, y'all. How do we do that? How do we create economic ownership? We create economic ownership by, first of all, creating our own businesses. So if you have a business on the side, even if you are a W-2 employee, keep that business, because if your job decides to lay you off, let you go for any reason at all, you still have another form or another source of income that you can fall back on and continue to bring in revenue for yourself, so you're not so stressed out. And that's something that I did. That's actually why I decided to become a realtor for the second time around, y'all. Despite the fact that I love real estate, I love what I do. I enjoy it. Helping people, we change people's lives. We move people across different states, across state lines, help you find properties, help your life. But also, real estate helped me in a time when COVID hit, okay? And I'm going to tell you about that because I never spoke about it on this channel. But I was an auto insurance adjuster for about 8 years. I've dealt with insurance claims for about 8 years, if not a little bit longer than that. And I've worked with different insurance companies. One in particular I was with for about 8 years almost. And it was right during the time that COVID hit that they decided to let me go while I was out on FMLA, and they violated a federal law. And to just give you some insight, all right, so I don't know what just happened. My camera died. Had to put in my dummy battery. If you know about that, then you know where I'm coming from. But anyway, I was licensed back in 2008. The whole housing crash situation happened. I ended up relocating years later to another state. Here I am now, and I got relicensed, okay? Long story short. So with this particular practice, this is something that I actually love doing, something that I wanted to do, and something that I am wholeheartedly invested in, okay? So I want to talk about the whole situation of home ownership being a mindset and why I say that. So first of all, if you keep coming up with excuses or listening to other people about reasons that you cannot purchase or reasons why you should not purchase or it's not going to work out, if that's the mindset you have, this video is not for you. You might as well just change the video, right? This video is about people that actually understand home ownership and they're interested and invested into purchasing a home or becoming a homeowner. So what I want to say to you is, if that is your goal, that is your dream, don't give up. Don't get discouraged if the lender tells you, no, not right now, you're not ready, you need to wait 6 months, you need to clear up some things on your credit, you need to pay some things down, you need to boost your credit score up. A lot of times what I find that what happens with people is they get discouraged and they just fade away. And so when we reach out to them just to touch bases, they don't answer the phone, they don't respond to the text, they don't respond to the email, or if we leave them a voicemail, you just go completely like missing off the face of the earth, right? But I'm pretty sure if someone said you just hit the lottery, all of a sudden you can be found. So like what I'm saying is, if this is your dream and you have a team of people around you that's trying to help you get to where you want to be in your dream, don't abandon those people, because in a sense you're abandoning yourself. And it's not good courtesy and good practice to do that when people are trying to help you out. So let's start there. Home ownership is a mindset. All right. Now, how is home ownership a mindset, y'all? So to be prepared for a home, you need to maintain your credit score. And usually if you're doing this anyway, then you should be aware of what your credit score looks like. So the first step usually is going to be checking your credit score, unless you have cash to pay for this house. right? And unless you have cash, then you're going to be financing through a form of a loan, which there's going to be an FHA loan. Usually that's what first-time homeowners use. There's a USDA loan, which is usually for rural areas, you know. There's also a conventional loan, and then there's a VA loan. And in my opinion, the VA loan is the most advantageous loan, which is a loan given to veterans, all right, that have served in the military. Now, let's talk about what we need to do to prepare. In order to prepare, first of all, your mindset is number one. If this is something that you want, this is something you're going to get. If this is something that you're wavering about, then maybe you'll get it and maybe you won't. This has nothing to do with your lender. This has nothing to do with your realtor. This has everything to do with you. Because regardless, you're going to get a house whether you use this lender, this realtor, or any lender or realtor. If a house is what you want, a house is what you're going to get. It's the same thing with a car, with the job, and anything else you want in life, right? So let's just think of it like that. So we got to prepare ourselves. So maybe you're already ready and just don't know it. If you've been on your job and say you've had steady income for the last two years, chances are you qualify and you just don't know it. So what you need are 2 years of tax returns. Now, these 2 years of tax returns need to be steady, either for a 1099. So if you're a contractor and self-employed, you need to have 2 years of that. You can't have 1 year of one and 1 year of being a W-2. It doesn't work that way. Then you need to have 2 years of tax returns for being a W-2 employee. Now, you can do both. You can say you have a business on the side, right? But you work a regular job. That's perfectly fine as long as you have 2 years of steady income on one of those two things. All right. So the lender's going to look at all of these things. We also, they're going to look at your credit score. So technically, the federal government changed their standards to a 580, but I would caution you to say the lower your credit score, the higher your interest rate and the less home you can afford. All right. So we already know how it is right now in America. We need all the money that we can get for our purchasing power. So I would say to really look for a house, you want to be at around a 640 and up. You know, the closer you can get to a 700 as much as possible. Now, if you're at a 680, that extra 20 points isn't going to make or break you, honestly. But I'll let the lender have that conversation with you, because a lot of times, even though we are realtors and we're in this industry each and every day, and we take the CE credits and the classes and the general updates, and we have a plethora of knowledge at our disposal, who are we to listen to? So it's just like when you go into a courtroom, right? And you have your attorney giving you legal advice. A lot of times the client will say, F the attorney, I'm going to listen to my relative over here that went through this process before, even though this is a whole different state and a whole different jurisdiction. That's what a lot of people do to realtors. Like, you might try to advise the client of something and they don't want to listen. They'll ask their next door neighbor that purchased 10 years ago in a whole different market at a whole different time, and the house was a whole different price point. The neighborhood was, it doesn't make sense, but people do it all the time. Okay. So that's my point. So you're going to want your credit score to be at a certain point. You're going to want 2 years of steady income. Make sure you filed your taxes, because they're going to ask for those tax records, and they're going to look at your 1099 or your W-2. Okay. Also, they're going to look at your debt to income ratio. Usually they want that to be between 30 to 40% or under. Or if you have no debt, that's even more advantageous for you. So car payments, student loans, credit cards, medical bills. What else? Those are the main thing. Personal loans. Those are things that will impact your credit. So try to get those things paid off or paid down as much as possible. They're going to take the minimum payment that you're utilizing, and they're going to factor that into your debt to income ratio. There's a little formula that they use, and they divide all of that by the amount of income that you bring in. Also, down payment money. You're going to need some, and closing costs. You're going to need money for that. So you need money saved up in the bank. All right. If you don't have money saved in your bank, you can potentially use your 401k funds if you have those. So a lot of 401k companies will allow you to use your 401k money to purchase your home. If you knew that or not, I don't know if you're aware of it, But yes, if you have money in your 401k, you can use that to purchase your home. They totally allow it. All right. So check with your 401k, check with your HR, see if you have a 401k, because a lot of people don't even know, they're not even aware that they have a 401k, y'all. I used to work at a retirement company that handled retirement funds. So people had 401ks that they didn't know about. People had 403bs that they were unaware of, retirement accounts that were out there. They didn't know they had money until they received a letter in the mail. So yes, these things are out there for you to use at your disposal for purchase of your home. Now, if you are a first-time home buyer, there are down payment assistance programs that you may qualify for if you meet the proper criteria. There are some down payment assistance programs that require you to have at least a 640 for your credit score. So you definitely want to consult with the lender before you start looking at houses, because you can start looking at houses and be way out of your price point, right? And we don't want you to start looking and get discouraged. So we want to have a sensible, logical way of approaching this. And just know this, that when you go into purchasing a home, you don't have to go for the gusto. This is not an end-all be-all situation. Sometimes you have to get your foot in the door, if you understand what I mean, right? You can start off with a starter home. There's nothing wrong with that. And then in a couple of years, once you build your equity up, hey, maybe now you've been in your house for 3, 4, 5 years. You want to go sell your house. Now you have $100,000 sitting in equity. So when you pay, say you sell your house and it's been about 4 to 5 years and you want to sell. Now you have $80,000 to $100,000 that you could take that money, invest it into a business, pay bills off, purchase whatever you want to do. But you have funds to purchase another house. If you want to upgrade your home, you can. So there are advantages to home ownership, you all. So like I said, it's a mindset. We also need to take into account that when you get into a house, people always talk about their maintenance. We have to worry about maintenance on a house and this and that. This is why you have what's called a home warranty, you all. There are different types of home warranties out there for you. Home warranties that will cover your appliances, dishwasher, oven, stove, microwave, things like that. Then there are more expensive warranties that cover the HVAC, the roofing, the plumbing, the electrical. These things are very important, piping, because things can happen and it doesn't matter. Even if you have a brand new home, after a while, that warranty will expire off of that home. Within about 5 years, you want to go ahead and put coverage on your house. A lot of new home builders right now are offering a structural warranty, a 10-year structural warranty for the structure of the home. So just, make sure you are aware of these things. There's also homeowners insurance. Now, homeowners insurance is if something happens to that particular dwelling, such as a tornado or hurricane. Flood insurance. Flood insurance is for like if you live in a particular flood zone. There have flood maps out there, and they'll tell you if you need flood insurance or not for your house. Fire, that's another thing. If your house undergoes an unfortunate situation, catastrophic event of getting struck by lightning and it catches on fire. Well, we already know what happened in LA with those LA fires. So it's unfortunate that those insurance companies canceled those policies before the fire struck. But I also heard that the fires were happening in North Carolina. So we just want to, cover the home in all different aspects. Now, if you are using a finance company and you're using a lender and FHA is involved or any type of financing is involved, it's going to be required that you have homeowners insurance anyway, because they want to make sure that the premises is insured. It's just like a car. If you're financing that car, that lien holder is going to require for you to have full coverage on that car, right? Because they still have a vested interest. So it's the same thing with your house. Another thing that people don't understand about home ownership is, an escrow account. What is an escrow account? So whenever you pay your mortgage, it's usually due around the first week. It's kind of like your rent is due around the first week. Now, some mortgage payments might be due at the end of the month or at a different date. But when that date comes up, your mortgage payment is divvied up into and it's allocated into different groups. One is towards the principal, one is towards the interest, one is towards the taxes, and one is towards the insurance, depending on the type of loan that you have, especially if you have an FHA loan. Now, in order for all of this to be paid, they break that one lump sum mortgage payment up into these different categories to make the mortgage payments for these categories. So that is what your escrow account and what your escrow balance is made up of. Also, you can have a shortage in escrow. And then if that does occur, then that means your mortgage payment will go up. If you want the mortgage payment to go back down, you can actually pay the escrow so that your mortgage payment can go down and you can have a more affordable or a more comfortable mortgage payment. That is something that you'll want to consult with your mortgage company about. And there are also mortgage companies that will allow you to have a flexible payment, meaning you can pay bi-weekly. You can have a mortgage company that will allow you to pay when you get paid. So at the beginning of the month, I want to make this payment. And then at the, second part of my month, I want to make the other half of my mortgage payment. There are mortgage companies that allow that. And sometimes that makes it a little more comfortable and flexible for you. What's another thing that I can tell you about homeownership that a lot of people don't know? Deferment programs. If something ever happens and say you get injured, you're out of work, you lose your job, like when COVID hit, a lot of people were impacted by that. Your mortgage company allows for deferred mortgage payments, kind of like a student loan deferred payment program. Well, they defer your payments up to 6 months until you can get back on your feet. It does not negatively impact your credit score unless you just, negate to pay your mortgage altogether. So they actually are giving you leverage, giving you a way to work with you so that you can pay, stay in your house, basically. There are also repayment programs that will fluctuate the amount that you pay in the mortgage. So that if you reach a hardship and you're out of work for a little while, you got injured, hey, we'll let you stop paying your mortgage. And then when you restart your mortgage payments, we'll add an extra $100, $200, $300 back onto the mortgage payment until you get caught up so that, hey, you can stay in your house. So it's not like they're just going to put you out of your house. It's not like that at all. And then lastly, I want to talk about when people talk about their mortgage payments go up. So mortgage payments don't just go up because of the escrow balance shortage. They can go up because your property taxes have increased, which means the value of your home has increased, which means if you go to sell your home, you're going to get more for your home than what you purchased for it in most cases. So when your property taxes go up, your mortgage payment goes up. Now that can affect, why your mortgage payment jumps up. Usually that might be between about $50 to $100, $150, $200. It depends because every municipality is different depending on the price point of your neighborhood and the tax assessor's adjustments. So that's something that you have to, speak about with that local municipality and find out what that's going to be for you. But those are just some things I wanted to talk about when we speak about home ownership. Home ownership is a mentality. It is a mindset. It is not meant to be looked at as paying rent. Rent is totally different. Rent is, a fixed rate until your lease is renewed again, and then they probably will go up on your rent most definitely every single year. So those two things are very different. You can have more flexibility with the mortgage payment than you can with your lease in most cases. Those are the main things that I just wanted to touch on because I think a lot of people get very scared. They feel like they are trapped in this mortgage, and you're not, because you can always sell your house, if you need to do that. And just know that there's flexibility for you, okay? So I hope that kind of answers some of your questions or opens your mindset up to different scenarios about home ownership. And If you have any questions or you want a consultation, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Tanita Gresham at 980-428-2333. You can also email me. That is t.gresh, gresh.realty@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, continue to be the CEO of your financial future.